part of the harassing communications was you sending a picture.
No.
That makes me lose respect for Martez.
If it was true.
I assumed it was true.
You assumed it was?
Now that he's saying that it's not true, how do you feel about it?
I don't know if I would believe Martez.
You don't believe me? I've been a liar about things that we've been through over the years, and a lot of experiences that you've had with me. I've been a liar.
Yeah.
Sometimes the strongest people are the ones who suffer in silence, holding a smile in front of the world even as their heart breaks behind closed doors. And for a long time, that was the story hidden in the shadows of Marsau Scott's life. Viewers saw him as the confident businessman, the tough husband, the man who seemed unfazed by rumors or whispers swirling around him.
Where's your wife at? She my favorite on the show? Go find her then. Shit, where's Tisha at? Tisha getting pampered. Yesterday's her birthday.
Let me check my goddamn
Right, because I know I got a private investigator following her little cheating ass. So I'm gonna find out because she wanna. Tisha ain't the kind of person that be sitting there taking that shit. She wanna just get back. She wanna cheat back. So I gotta watch her.
But what nobody expected was that behind that calm exterior lived a truth so painful, so deeply buried, that it threatened to crush everything he believed about love, loyalty, and marriage. This wasn't a story about a man accused of betrayal. This was the moment the world realized that the one who appeared to have it all together was actually carrying a hurt he never thought he'd have to face. Because for the first time ever, Marsau was ready to reveal the truth he kept quiet for years, the truth about how the love of his life broke his heart in a way he never recovered from.
What made you lose respect for me? Because what you're saying right now isn't even true. So I'm up here telling you what the truth is, and you still say that you have no respect for me. So I'm saying, okay, it must be something deeper. So what is it?
To understand the weight of that revelation, you have to go back to the beginning, before fame, before the cameras, before the world had anything to say about their relationship. Back when love felt simple, warm, and safe. When two young adults believed they had found their forever. Back when Marsau wasn't the polished businessman he is now, but a man still trying to find his place in the world. He was focused, ambitious, and determined to build a future that would make his family proud. And then he met her, the woman who would become the center of his world.
About my family, go ahead. And I'm gonna see how true Tisha is gonna stand on what she's not gonna accept in a marriage.
You said, you said we weren't doing that.
That's it.
There's nothing that Martell's gonna bring out the phone.
Bring it out.
That's actually gonna show.
It is.
Show what you gotta show.
Show it.
Show it. Show what you gotta show.
You show it.
No.
Oh,
You got him woman too.
He the one talking about my family. What the talking about?
Oh, what you got in your phone?
You show what you was talking about.
I'm talking about between me and you. Yeah.
This is a conversation between me, you, and her.
Okay, show it.
Please show it. Oh.
Their romance wasn't loud or flashy. It was the kind of connection that grows slowly, quietly, with small moments that turn into memories you want to hold on to forever. They spent hours talking about life, dreams, and the future they wanted to build. She encouraged his goals, stood by him during long work hours, and believed in him when no one else seemed to understand his vision. People around them described their relationship as something special, stable, grounded, and filled with genuine love. But even the most beautiful beginnings don't always prepare you for the storms that come later. And for them, the first cracks formed during a time when everything else in their lives seemed to be moving forward. Their careers were growing, responsibilities were piling up, and the pressure to maintain a perfect image quietly settled over their shoulders. They were expected to be strong, supportive, and always in control.
If I'm your woman and you are my man, when I ask you for something, why the hell you get mad?
And that pressure, silent, heavy, and constant, created a distance neither of them wanted to admit was growing. At first, it showed up in harmless ways: fewer date nights, missed calls, shorter conversations. But then came the emotional gaps, the moments when they sat next to each other but felt worlds apart. The love was still there, it just wasn't being nurtured the way it once was. And while they continued building their life, something fragile inside their marriage was slowly starting to shift. Still, Marsau believed their bond was unbreakable. He trusted her, loved her, and never once doubted her loyalty. He knew relationships went through ups and downs, but he believed they would always find their way back to each other. What he didn't realize was that a much deeper storm was already forming behind his back. It started with subtle changes. The kind that you only notice when you look back and think, how did I miss that? She became more private with her phone. More distant during conversations. More defensive when he asked simple questions about her day. But each time, she brushed it off with a gentle smile, a quick explanation, or a soft reassurance that everything was fine. And because he loved her, he believed her. But here's the twist. Sometimes loyalty blinds us to truths we're not ready to face. The moment everything shifted happened on a night that seemed ordinary at first. Marsau was going through his emails, planning out his schedule, when he noticed a message from a name he didn't recognize. It wasn't the message itself, a simple notification that caught his attention. It was the reaction it triggered in his wife when she saw the name flash across the screen. Her face froze, her voice cracked, and she quickly grabbed her phone as if she'd been burned. That was the moment Marsau realized something wasn't right. His heart dropped. His mind raced. But still, he wanted to believe the best. So he approached the situation gently, trying to understand without accusing. Yet the more he asked, the more defensive she became. And that defensiveness, it was the beginning of answers he never wanted to hear. Days turned into weeks, and that uneasy feeling inside him grew heavier. He wanted to trust her, but her behavior kept feeding his doubts. She stayed out later than usual, hid her phone, and avoided intimate conversations. Love was still there, but something painful was sitting between them, refusing to go away. And then one night, the truth finally broke through the silence. He found a message that shattered everything. The message wasn't explicit. It wasn't dramatic. It was a simple line, a gentle compliment, a warmth that didn't belong to someone who was supposed to be committed. But it was enough to confirm that another person had stepped into the emotional space he thought was reserved for their marriage. The world often paints cheating as something physical, but emotional betrayal cuts deeper. It shakes your confidence. It buries your trust. It makes you question every moment you shared with someone you love. And for Marsau, that single message was a wound he never expected to feel, especially not from the woman he believed would never hurt him. He confronted her, hoping for honesty, hoping for closure, hoping for a reason that would somehow help him breathe again. Instead, he got denial. Frustration. Anger. The more he asked, the more she pushed back. It wasn't until he stepped away from the argument that she finally broke down and admitted what he feared: she had developed feelings for someone else. The confession hit him like a blow to the chest. This wasn't a rumor. It wasn't gossip. It wasn't some story that could be brushed off. It was real. It was raw. It was painful. And it came from the only person whose betrayal could truly break him. Their marriage didn't fall apart overnight. That's the hardest part. People think heartbreak hits once and the pain fades. But when the hurt comes from someone you planned your future with, the pain arrives in waves. 1 minute you're numb, and the next minute you're angry. One moment you want to forgive, and the next you want to walk away forever. For months, they tried to rebuild. Counseling sessions. Deep conversations. Late-night apologies that turned into early morning silence. But the scar was already there, carved into the foundation of their relationship, refusing to heal no matter how hard they tried. To the outside world, they looked stable. Strong. United. But behind closed doors, Marsau was carrying a hurt he didn't know how to express. Black men, especially on television, are rarely given space to show pain without being judged. So he tucked his heartbreak away and continued playing the role everyone expected him to play. But the hurt didn't disappear. It lingered, transformed, and slowly changed the way he saw love. And what nobody expected was that this experience, the betrayal he kept hidden, became the reason he moved through later seasons with walls built around his heart. Fans often questioned why he seemed distant, why he dodged emotional topics, or why he struggled with vulnerability. They assumed it came from arrogance or pride. But underneath all that was a man who had been wounded in a way he wasn't ready to talk about publicly. This betrayal didn't just affect his marriage. It changed his entire life. It affected the way he communicated. Every conversation felt like a reminder of the trust he once gave so freely. It affected how he viewed commitment. Promises felt fragile. Love felt complicated. And even when he tried to move forward, the ghost of that hurt followed him everywhere he went. Family gatherings felt tense. His confidence in his ability to choose the right partner was shaken. And the worst part? He blamed himself. He wondered if he had failed her, even though the betrayal wasn't his fault. That's what heartbreak does. It makes you question everything about yourself, even when you were the one who was loyal. Eventually, the truth became too heavy to keep inside. After years of carrying the pain and letting people believe he was the one who constantly caused problems, he finally reached a point where silence wasn't protecting him, it was hurting him. The narrative around him was tangled with accusations and assumptions, while his own truth had never been told. So, he decided to share his story. Not for sympathy. Not for attention. But for closure. When he opened up about the betrayal he had endured, the world finally saw a different side of him, a side that was vulnerable, honest, and deeply human. And people understood that even those who appear strong have moments that break them. Now the question becomes, what happens next? Does this revelation change his future? Does it heal the wounds that have shaped him for so long? Does it help him rebuild trust in a way that feels genuine and safe? Maybe. Maybe not. But what is certain is that this truth, the truth he kept tucked away to protect someone he loved, is finally out. And with it, he's no longer carrying a burden meant for two shoulders, all alone. Sometimes healing begins not with forgiveness, not with moving on, but with simply speaking the truth out loud. And for the first time in years, Marsau finally feels free enough to breathe. But the real twist? This story isn't just about betrayal. It's about resilience. It's about finding strength in moments of weakness. It's about learning that even when love breaks you, it doesn't have to define you. Because now that the truth is out, the future is wide open.